Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, April 6th, 2026. I, of course, am Hammer from Originator Success, Grab and Go Social, and Rate Sensei. So glad to have you here this morning. Trying to fix. Do I not have Presentify up this morning? Hold on, let me see. There we go. Let's see if that. Okay, there we are. All right. Anyway, good morning, y'all. Great to have you here. Happy Monday. Hope you are doing well. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, broadcasted on Facebook and YouTube, talking about what's going on in the markets with rates and pricing. Today, of course, we would have had the deadline at 8 p.m. today for Iran. However, President Trump did push that back till tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit about that. What we're not going to talk about, the tweet heard around the world. I ain't got time for that. If you don't know that this guy does, says whatever he wants, and then I don't know. Support him, hate him, I don't care. His tweets, his posts are ridiculous half the time anyway. But anyway, what we are going to keep talking about, what we got going on this week. Will we see rates improve? What are the chances? Where would they go from here? What could cause them to go up? All that good stuff. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that. We'll get into that. So if you're here this morning, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you are here. Good morning, Zane. Spring break is over, huh, buddy? Hopefully you had a good time, my friend. Michael Scott Love, good morning. Rob Wilson, Vicky McSweeney. Adam Check. What's going on, sir? Good morning. Amy and Deb, Faye, Holly Johnson. Great to see all of you here. All right, I'm going to dive in because I'm feeling a little off today still, so I just want to hop in and let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good part. So Friday, I said markets were closed at 2 p.m. because normally they close at 2 p.m. However, they actually closed at 12 p.m. That's weird. They don't usually do that. But we did see, as you remember, quick recap, we saw the movement early from the jobs data. We lost a lot of ground, recovered most of it back, and then things are quiet for the day. As far as where we're at this morning, if you take a look, I'm going to blow this up. We'll do the 5-day to kind of see it real clear. If you take a look here at where we're at, this was Thursday, and here's where we're at today. So that whole big jobs data incident, it's almost like it didn't happen. You just erase it, right? I told you not to worry about it too much, but that's where we were. The one thing I definitely was off on last week was when Trump had taken that ceasefire off the table. I thought we were going to see rates move a lot higher. That was a big turning point. That has to catch your attention. You guys know I love to point out when I'm wrong about something because usually we can learn from it. So that was a big deal. If we look right here, that was on Wednesday into Thursday. That was right here, this big drop that we had. And then you saw a really strong recovery in mortgage bonds after that. Look at this. So we had that big drop. And during our live on Thursday, I was like, hey, lock everything before things get bad. And all of a sudden, boom, recovery road and came back stronger than ever. That was a huge sign that markets were not playing. They didn't care. Even if Trump said we're going to do this for a few more weeks, they think that you could tell that basically oil seems to have capped off. As long as oil stays around where it's at, doesn't get up to 120 a barrel, CNBC, we should be really good with that stuff. So right now, Brent is around 110. That seems to be our high point. 110, 115 is where we kind of get our. Oh, let me pull this over this way. There you go. Oh, son of a! Come on, show that back up. Here you go. All right. So looking at like 109, 110. So as long as we stay below 120, it looks like markets are okay. When we look at where pricing is at these days, right here, we are, we capped out in the 6 and 5/8, 6 and 3/4 area, right around here. And now we're back down to 6.5 and falling a little bit below it. So that would put us in a position to cautiously float. Right now, you can see what the current headlines are. Trump issues the new ultimatum to Iran about opening up the Strait of Hormuz. Renewed ultimatum to Iran, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or the U.S. will bring hell and destroy Iran's power plants starting on Tuesday. But that's the thing. He said on Tuesday, not 8 p.m. on Monday. again, I'm not going to go into the post itself. If you think that this guy has any kind of couth or decorum, then I don't know what rock you've been hiding under. Follows the rescue of a U.S. airman, which, of course, that's always fantastic. But again, it doesn't affect rates, so we're not really going to go into that. But really, the main thing is like he's going to hold a press conference today at 1 p.m. So we could see some movement today, and that's one of the things I wanted to kind of make sure that y'all know. Right around 1 p.m., if Trump does follow through and hold the press conference, which he probably will, then we want to keep an eye on what's going on. Sorry, y'all, I can't sit on this stool anymore. It's killing me. Give me a minute. I'm going to put stand my desk up, and I'll stand up because I am hurting today. Anyway, let's see. We could see some movement. We want to be ready for this. Reprice risk is highest at that point in the day when this press conference, depending on what Trump says and where he comes from. But there's definitely more signs when you look behind the scenes about the Iran wanting to go ahead and do a ceasefire. There was an article, Trump's Iran deadline looms with mediators pushing for a truce. The Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Esmail Baghai said Tehran is seeking for a definitive end to the war instead of a mere pause, and that agreeing to a short-term detente without guarantees is something no rational person would do. But this shows that there are definitely there's fatigue. There's fatigue. Trump will claim that we've had the fastest, greatest, most wonderful war ever. Iran will claim that we barely even scraped the paint off their car, and somewhere in the middle is probably true. And right now we'll see, kind of where that is. What longer term effect will that have on rates and pricing over the next few weeks? That's kind of where we play from here. If we take a look and see, we definitely do have room to improve. We could see things continue to improve if a ceasefire comes in. And even if we see more escalation, as long as it's not, if we do attack their power plants, if we do put boots on the ground, we'll see bonds take a hit short term. But we've seen a lot of flight to safety rather than seeing bonds trace the price of oil. Normally, if we were to see an escalation, you would expect a flight to safety and bonds would improve. We may see more of a reaction from that. So we've seen a decoupling where bonds were following oil prices, and we've seen that kind of break off. So we've got more of a traditional flight to safety situation. Again, I know nobody said, I'm reading some Facebook posts and people are like, oh, lock. But you could be, last week, most lenders picked up at least an eighth in rate. You had to have picked up better pricing. So you don't want to leave that on the table right now. Float downs are not going to happen that quick. You need a bigger, more aggressive drop in rates to see float downs. And, brokers will say, well, I'll just pull the deal and put it somewhere else. You know what? That's bad for relationships, and you can argue that that's what you should be doing for the consumer. I would argue that if you had given them better advice, you wouldn't have to. So there you go. Beard or fur on the microphone. This is fur. This is George. I usually clean it with a thing. I have to trim the beard, though. I'm definitely fuzzier than I've been in a long time. So, all right, everybody, let me know if you got any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I think we're pretty good on things. But let me know what you guys have any questions. Let me know your feelings on it. Again, it's a good time to cautiously float. Let's see where things play out. Watch 1 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see what Trump has to say. Could see rates continue to improve from here this week. Wouldn't be probably a large improvement, but it could be more improvement. So hope that helps. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.